This episode goes out to all the people who were having a tough time selling cars in the month of October. Listen, we understand. It's not your fault. However, there was someone who sold 40 cars in the heat of a pandemic. So we just want you to hear this and take silence. Today's episode is sponsored by Scar Food. Man, I'm telling y'all, you definitely don't want to waste your time on the scar creams that fail. They got this scar repair system. Everybody's buying it. Their scar care products are designed to diminish the appearance of new scars, old scars, stretch marks, surgical scars, acne scars, cuts, burns. I mean, pretty much anything. You'd be surprised. Even dry and aging skin. Now, all of their products work hand in hand to address all phases of the scar healing process. And another cool thing is that they're all organic, right? They're all natural or vegan, right? So you can really feel good about what you're putting on your skin. So the best part is they get results. Kind of like us in the automotive industry, that's what we do, right? Car guys and car girls are all right now reaping the benefits of Scar Food, and you can too. Listen, join the Scar Food family and start your scar repair journey today. Just go to scarfood.com. Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy, and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. And I've got a special guest. I'm going to actually let him introduce himself because, man, you're going to remember this name. You're on, brother. Tell everybody who you are.
Riley Akers, Cherville, Indiana. We work for Team Toyota. Happy to be on.
Riley, I got to just tell you, I've been in the business 22 years. And again, it is refreshing to see like a powerhouse. I mean, you're absolutely a rising star in the industry. You caught my attention before your post this month, but let's go through it. We are now in July of 2020. So let's just get into it. What did you close June 2020 with? How many units?
30. You
sold 30 cars. And approximately how much did you earn in personal income gross before taxes?
Gross, I probably made right around 14.
Okay, so it's $13,000-$14,000 in 1 month. But correct. You told me the month before, which was in May 2020, right, was in the heat of the pandemic, right? Okay, how many cars did you sell?
40.
You sold 40 cars.
I did, yeah.
Okay,
that was my biggest month.
It was your biggest month ever, right?
Correct.
Okay. And how much gross for the dealership did you generate?
Right around 46.
About $46,000 in gross. And you had said to me that you earned in personal income. That was your biggest month you made personally wise as well too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you made, was it $20,000?
Yeah, with bonus and everything like that, we were right at 20, a little bit over.
Wow, a little bit over 20,000. So yeah, I believe you said it's like 15,000 and change, but then with the bonus, it pushed you to over $20,000, right?
Correct.
All right, so tell us. So you're in Indiana. What's the closest city to you?
Chicago.
Okay, so Chicago's pretty close. How far are you from Chicago?
South side, 30 minutes. Downtown, heart of downtown, 45 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So you were right there to a major metro area and you have a great franchise, but to sell 40 cars, man, is not easy. You know, to sell 30 cars is not easy. If you don't mind me asking, what does the average salesperson at your organization deliver?
I would say right around 15 is the number that everyone's kind of, get to 15, you get to go to a luncheon and stuff like that. So right around 15 to 18, I'd say, is kind of where everybody's at.
That's a really good answer, you know what I mean? Because the national average is only 9.6. So your organization is a good organization. You know, you have an amazing, team of leaders. You have an amazing product, and that's why you guys are, way above national average. But my point is, for you, first of all, for your average people, they're doubling almost what the regular average people are in the country. Do you follow me? But what's crazy is that you're doubling, at least in May, you doubled more than doubled what your average person was doing at your store. So it's not just Toyota. It's not just your dealership. You're so far ahead of the pack. And so let's start with this question here. How does it feel to know that the average salesperson, there's roughly about 200,000 franchise sales consultants in the United States, a little bit under, but the average salesperson sells less than 10 cars, and you quadrupled what the average salesperson is. How does that make you feel as a professional?
Hard work pays off, right? It feels good. You got to keep working. It's not easy. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, good. And let's go through your age, because you look young. How old are you?
Just turned 23.
Oh my gosh. Praise God. You just turned 23 years old. And how long have you been at your store for?
A little over a year. Started last May.
So 1 year. Okay. So what are you anticipating that you're going to earn this year in 2020?
I'm tracking for like 125.
Okay. So $125,000. Now, why did you get into the automotive industry?
So my dad's been in it. So I kind of always knew, this was kind of the track. I was 15 years old. I, was a porter here, first job. So I kind of always been shaped around it. Just knew, hard work. I've known people in the business kind of here and out, not everyone stays in the business too long. So, people go, they come. But I went to school, got a degree in marketing, which has helped me big time, with different things as far as how this business is changing. So that's helped me really big time as well.
So for the people that are listening to the podcast, they might not know, you want to share a little bit about your dad?
Yeah, he's been started forever ago, at this dealership actually, came in for a porter job. He, got hired as a salesperson, worked his way up from the bottom, and he's the owner now.
So here's the thing is, and I'm going to say this with love and respect, a lot of people get a bad vibe of a dealer's kid. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like they have the names like the Lucky Sperm Club and things like that. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? But again, when I see work like this is not the Lucky Sperm Club. This is a beast. Like, this is in your blood. And that's the other reason why I was really intrigued about this interview, because again, I think it's important, because I think a lot of times dealers' kids get a bad rap because they think that, they're spoiled and they're this and they're that. But man, like, I don't care who your dad or your mom is, to sell 40 cars, you got to put in that work, right or wrong.
Absolutely. There's nothing handed yet. If anything, it's harder.
Yes. And same with my daughter. My daughter will tell you the same thing. I mean, like, it's hard. Dude, there's a reason why she works at a Buick GMC dealership instead of a Toyota or a BMW dealership, because if you could sell cars and put units up at a Buick store, then you're about that life. You know what I mean? So again, let's share some things, like, what are some lessons that you learned from your father? You know what I mean? That you feel that help you be successful? What, like, is it watching him, how he carries himself, how he engages the business? Let's talk about that for a minute.
I think the biggest thing with him is, since I've been little, is hard work. Show up early, be the first one at the dealership. Service opens at 7:30, sales don't open until 9. Be here when service is open. You get a couple deals a month just by being the first person here. Staying late, working, putting in the hours. Hard work's definitely the biggest thing I've learned from him. As far as hands-on, working deals, doing that stuff, he's more of running the whole big show. So, I'm not getting as much, even though I do. But it's just the hard work is where I've gotten that from him, and I've just seen it firsthand.
No, well, obviously it's friggin' translated, because you are who you are as far as the success that you built. Nobody did that. And that's the thing about like car sales is, at the end of the day, you're the one that's doing the deliveries. You know what I mean? You're the one that's closing the deals, or have you, whether it's a T or not. My point being is that you can't fake those numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your work, and it's awesome. Now, I want to touch back what you said, which is very, very intriguing. I didn't know about that. You have a marketing degree. Let's talk about that. So tell me, it's a 4-year degree?
Yep, I went to Ball State. Dad told me, you want a job, go to school. Said you need something to fall back on if everything ended. So, I went there, went to school, was pretty involved in, I was a coach at a high school down there for wrestling and stuff like that. So, just going there, getting that, and then, knowing that I was more than likely, unless some dramatic change coming into the business, business degree, and what's the biggest thing in car sales that not everyone's doing in marketing. So marketing myself, and went and dug in about all the books as far as that stuff goes.
All right, so let's talk about that. How has your marketing degree and your marketing background combined with all the years from being a porter in the dealership world? How has that translated to you? What are you doing to market yourself at the dealership?
I'm really big on my Facebook. I do a lot of Facebook. I've tried to get into build a brand and stuff like that. I'm still working on getting into there. Some stuff that we're not yet able to get our own website with the inventory and stuff on there. But I have my own Facebook page, my own business Facebook page. So I'm doing that really big. Just different types of follow-up, sending the video follow-up. A lot of people get...
Let's stick with social media for a little bit right here. So you're on Facebook, you have a personal page, you've got a business page. Are you using Facebook's ad manager to target?
Yep.
Okay. How much budget do you invest in yourself a month in Facebook ads?
So up until the pandemic started, it was about $1,000. I was backing down a little bit, which I'm starting to not do that. Just kind of fear, I guess. I got wrapped up in all the hype. But getting back into that. And then Facebook Marketplace, it's free, and I get a ton of business just from Facebook Marketplace. It's incredible. The targeting that works, and I get deals off of that as well. But it's like amazing how much I get off Facebook Marketplace.
Okay, so I want to stress on these 2 points right here. My God, that is awesome. I know people that are twice your age with worse, like mortgages and kids that they need car sales to work, and they don't even spend $100 a month, like in marketing and advertising. To put a Facebook budget of $1,000 is so strong. I'm so impressed. The second thing that you said, though, is that you don't need to just spend that money to Marketplace. Can you estimate how many deals do you get from Facebook a month? And not get, but that you earn between Marketplace or your own advertising, organic or targeted. Out of your 40 cars in May or out of your 30 cars in June, what would you say, how many units came from social media?
I'd say close to 25%.
Wow.
It's
strong.
Yeah.
That's
I do a
strong, man. That's so strong. Okay. Now you mentioned Facebook. Are you on Instagram and LinkedIn?
I'm not on LinkedIn. I am on, or Instagram though. I'm on Twitter. I'm on most Snapchat, stuff like that. I'm on most streams. I'm not on LinkedIn though.
Okay. Tip to you. I would highly recommend you get into LinkedIn. And I'll talk to you offline with some free ideas. I'm going to just say this. LinkedIn is the #1 professional social community out there. It's so easy. Like if you want to do like whether it's fleet or if it's just business to business, you could just go to LinkedIn and find CEOs, marketing directors, and communications. I personally pay the $100 a month or $99 a month. And it's so worth the investment for a LinkedIn premium account. So with a LinkedIn premium account, I have access. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you this right here. You can see my screen, right?
I can, yep.
All right. So I just feel that, it's really kind of you to share your experience and your successes with our group and our podcast. I want to reciprocate. I want to give you a little love. Okay. So watch, I'm in LinkedIn. And I'm a little bit different because of who I am. I have just a ton of people, so I don't even pay attention. Look at this. It's blowing up. But when I go into my network, for me, look at this. I have 14,000 people, but
wow.
If you're not a car dealer, a manager, or an automotive professional, I don't accept you. I don't approve you. So like you'll see the process right here. Let me just get rid of this. So speaker, manager, working with keynote speakers. I'm in the NSA, so I'll do that one. But high ticket closer at Dan Loke, I don't even read. No interest. Definitely no interest. No interest. Sales manager. Nope. It's not automotive. Don't care. Experienced franchise consultant. Don't care. Fixed operations director. Yes. Okay. Waker Auto Parts Network Specialist. I'm not really into parts. Not interested. Online course. Not interested. You see what I'm saying? So again, some people have a strategy. of let me just get everybody I can on there so it looks like I have a big network and it's not relevant. You want to have the right audience. And so I'm not saying 100% of people in here, my connections are automotive, but I would say 95 to 95% of them are. I mean, look at let's hear. Perfect. You see, this is my connections, right? These are just the recent ones. NSA, but JM&E, that's automotive. You see what I'm saying? Bachelor of Science. I think there's probably automotive there, but automotive. Do you see a pattern there?
Yep.
Okay, and so now, but with it though, let's say, like, watch this. This is in real time. So you are in, what's your town that the dealership's located in?
It's called Cherville, Indiana.
Okay, Cherville. So let's go. What's a place? What's a bigger city or town that's maybe not Chicago, but let's say it's 15, 20 minutes away? What's the bigger town, city? There isn't?
Gary, but Gary's not the one you're going to want to put in there.
Watch, you don't know what I'm going to do. So Gary, so spell Gary. Is it Gary? That's it, just Gary.
Indiana, yep.
Okay, so watch this. So I put Gary, Indiana, police chief. Okay, now there goes the Lawrence Police. Is that right by there too?
Yeah, that's close.
All right. So again, it might not be a police chief. It might be, something else. It might be a police captain or whatever that I could find. But what you could and this is just, I'm freestyling in the middle of a podcast, but you see how I found Gary Woodruff? That's already a second connection right there. I could do a macro program. Watch this. And I'm not going to do it for real, but I'm going to verbally go through this. So I just found the deputy chief of police at Lawrenceville Police Department. Because I have this, I could direct message him right there. And I could turn and what would the message be? Hello, Deputy Chief Woodruff. My name is Sean Bradley. I am one of the managers, and hell, your dad is the owner. I'm one of the, like I say, my father's the owner of ABC Motors. And he and I were discussing, we wanted to roll out a program, for military and law enforcement. And we just, really appreciate all your, that you and all of your officers do for the community. So here's what it is. If any of your officers or their families are in need of anything automotive, even if it's just automotive consulting, automotive information, please feel free to reach out to me. And at no charge whatsoever, I would be more than happy to consult, advise on everything from selling their car, buying a car, getting finance, even if it isn't of a Toyota. Now, in addition to that, if any of your people are in the market to buy a vehicle, here's what I'm going to do for you. One is that we have special pricing that's only for military and law enforcement. So this is not open to the general public. Now, in addition to that, anytime that somebody purchases a vehicle from there, we're going to donate, $200 to your police department, or we're going to donate $200 to, slain officers or something like that. Stop narrative. Brother, do you know how sick that is right there? So now that's strong as shit, because I've done this. Now watch my screen again. In the state of New Jersey, if you take a look right here, there was something called NJ Cops. Okay, so NJ Cops magazine is like a free publication. See this? Is like a free publication that goes out almost like an auto shopper. Do you see on my screen here? Isn't that cool? So this is an actual printed out magazine. And what I would do is this, and this is New Jersey. I don't know if Indiana or Illinois has this for the state, but every police officer, every local police department, state trooper, every county sheriff department, every correctional facility, every federal agency that's got an office in that state will get a copy of this. And they have a website here. So what I did when I sold cars, brother, I used NJ Cops. That was many years ago. I would have a full page ad from me right there, like on the website, and I have a banner ad. So I have a banner ad on the website, a full page ad in there, and it said, "Show me." Like I just said, Blue Lives Matter. We appreciate your service. And boom, boom, boom. Do you know how many people? But it wasn't Blue Lives Matter back then. But it was like, we appreciate you for your service. You know how many police departments called me? Now think about it. You could sell one car to one person at a time, or do a 2-car deal if you're lucky, or you could turn around and try to go after organizations, police departments, fire departments, EMTs, and things like that. Do you like that idea?
Awesome. That's really strong.
So now, but how do you do that from LinkedIn? Because you see how quickly I got to that person? Like, that's the whole point. LinkedIn, you could get in touch with. Here's another idea. First of all, are you certified to install and inspect car safety seats?
I'm not, no.
Oh,
and I've
you need to do that
I've
shit.
seen about that, yeah.
You need to do that. It's a 4-day course, and very, very few people do it. And there's liability waivers. Again, so don't worry. It's not going to put you or your father at risk in any way because there are liability waivers that are there. Plus, there's also insurance riders. And the insurance rider might be an extra like $100 a year or $200 a year, but who cares? To be insured to do that, to be able to go through marketing, you could go to LinkedIn and you could go through all the lists of daycare centers that are in your town. What's the name of the town again?
Cherville.
Cherville, right? From Cherville or from Gary or from whatever. Now think about that for a second. If you get the list of all these daycare centers, you could go to LinkedIn and try to find the owners or the director's contact information and say something like this. Hey, sir, my name is Sean Bradley. I am one of the senior salespeople at ABC Motors, which my father happens to own the dealership. And it's Akers Toyota, isn't it?
It's Team Toyota.
Team Toyota. Okay, that's it. Okay, but so your dad's last name is Akers, though, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So I would say Team Toyota, but again, regardless, you're going to be able to let them know that you have an unfair advantage, which is good. Exploit that in a very professional way after you clear it, because it's more, even if your dad didn't own the dealership, this works very well, but hell, the fact that your father owns the dealership and you are a senior sales consultant or one of the high level sales consultants there will put a lot of weight to it. Say, this is what we want to do at Team Toyota is make sure that all of the children are safe. Ma'am, I don't know if you know this, or sir, I don't know if you know this, but the leading killer of kids from 12 to 15, or I think it's like 9 to 12 or something like that, is actual car collisions. And one of the reasons why kids die in car collisions is because the car safety seats aren't there. So what we did is we took it upon ourselves to invest in actual certification to inspect and install car safety seats. So for free of charge, what we'd like to do is set up a clinic at your daycare center. And what you could do is bring a Toyota Sienna. Check this out. You bring a Toyota Sienna in there with the car seat, and you could demonstrate to all the moms and all the parents that are there. But then you could almost have like a DUI check. You could turn around and set it up where they could turn around and bring their vehicle, and you could inspect the vehicle for the car safety seat, getting contact information, all that stuff. I mean, brother, there's a lot of things that you can do. But again, I went on a tangent to show you how powerful LinkedIn is. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's good stuff.
So now back to you, back to the interview portion. That was my training portion to say thank you for this interview. Now going back to you, you mentioned Build a Brand. What happened? Do you have a Build a Brand website?
We've tried to get it. It's through like corporate and stuff like that. They aren't given access to the inventory. So, and that's a big part of it on there. And we still should have something where I can put my own stuff on there and stuff like that. I've just kind of got back in the way. We've tried a couple times and back in the way. So we're still battling it.
So here's my thing is what I would say is this: why don't you turn around and just get a Build a Brand website without the inventory? Because I know a lot of people in our group, in the Millionaire Car Salesman group, that have the restrictions for inventory. Because remember, it's the digital business card, it's the referral program, it's the About Us form, it's having a website there. Inventory would be awesome, but it's not the main part of the website. And again, from my experience and for other people, you don't need corporate's permission to have your own personal website. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to use their inventory, absolutely. But again, like if you see my daughter that's T Got Your Keys and she's on it, she does have the dealership's permission. So she's got the inventory. But again, if you don't have the inventory integration on there, at least you have somebody. I'll give you an example. You spend a lot of time on Facebook. Do you realize that you can take Facebook pixel, retargeting pixel, and put it into your Build a Brand website? So follow me on this. So if somebody goes to your website and then whether they do something or don't, if they go to social media, it remembers that it went to your website and it could serve up ads, display ads and video ads through Instagram or Facebook. But you can't do that unless you have a website that you have the social media pixel on there.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Got to get on there.
All right, good. So tell us, what other things are you doing to market yourself? I gave you a couple ideas of what I would recommend, like, targeting the police, targeting, like daycare centers and things like that. And I just talked to you about Facebook retargeting Pixel. You're doing something right. So where are you getting all your car sales from besides Facebook?
I do a lot. Our community we're in, there's a thing called Region Sports Network that we go on there and it's like a live, they do all the high school sports in the whole county, stuff like that. So we put ads on there, and every night there's sports, high school sports, stuff like that. There's 1,000 people on there all seeing it with my ads coming up the bottom. We did a billboard a couple times, just, minor stuff, nothing, out there, but just getting my name on stuff, on videos, doing stuff like that. I do a lot of referrals.
How much is your bird dog? How much is your bird dog?
150 strong. All
right. Now, question for you. I'm going to give you the advice I give my daughter. What's your flat or your mini?
150.
No, it's 150. So here's what I'd say. Do you give anything extra besides the 150?
I do certain months. So certain months, not every time. So I'll put on a Facebook post saying, hey, this month I'm doing $200, where that 50 is coming from me, or I've done 175, but it's not consistent. No.
My recommendation, again, do what you want. This is free training advice here, is no matter what it is, I would put a $50 minimum out of your pocket. Because if you think about it, these people don't ever, like if it's a real referral, right? You would have never had that deal if it wasn't for that person right there. It might get you closer to a bonus to get you to your next bonus level, or potentially an OEM spin if Toyota has spins that month. Does that make sense? So it's just, my thing is you don't have to do it, but my personal feeling is that incentivize people the most to do it, and or on top of that, stair step people. You got a pay plan, right? What motivates you to hit tiers? So you might turn around and say, look, I'm doing $200 for the first referral this month, or however, if you give me 2 referrals in a month, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to put it to $225. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Because what you want to do is you want to give people a reason to break their neck. Do you follow me? Yeah. To be able to and just constantly be pushing, people to you. The other thing is that, how do you generate referrals? Like, how do you turn somebody into a referral agent of yours?
So every time before, while we're waiting for them to get into finance and stuff like that, hanging out with them, give them business cards. Business cards go in the books, in the glove box, so they have stuff there. They have a keychain and everything on there. My back of my business card's got $150 on it. I tell them about it. I immediately add them on Facebook, on every social media they have. I add them before they get into the finance department. And my keychains, like I said, it's always reminding them. I call them constantly every week. I'm calling them or sending them a text saying, hey, don't forget about my referral program. Okay. So it sounds like you're doing a thorough job, brother. You're really doing a great job with those people. No doubt about that. But that's the least valuable referrals. Do you know that? Okay. And here's what I'm saying. In certain ways, people say, Sean, you're crazy. Those are the most valuable referrals because they bought a car from you. Yeah. But what if they're not in a position of a lot of people? So I want you to think a little bit differently. You want to create not referrals, but referral agents or referral agencies. And what do I mean by that? Is that what you want to be able to do is find people. And again, the pandemic is screwing everything up, but you want to find people that have access to a lot of people. Who? Waiters, waitresses. You want to find people that are bartenders. You want to find people that work at gyms, at hotels. I'm going to show you a quick video here on YouTube. And it's basically an example. I did this at a 20 group. You know what a 20 group is, of course, right? Yep.
Okay, so this is me at a 20 group. We went to dinner with a bunch of dealers. You just go to YouTube, type in Sean V. Bradley Ups Waiter. Look at this.
And you are Jeff, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Jeff, I asked you a question. I said, do you know anybody in the market for a vehicle? Because if you do, we'd be able to pay X amount of dollars for that referral.
Oh, yes.
How many people do you know right now that are in the market for a vehicle?
Probably 2 or 3.
About 2 or 3,
yes.
Right? Now, I got to ask you an honest question, right? You work hard here as a servant, correct?
Not really that hard, but yes, sort of, yeah.
Okay, if I could turn around and show you a way that's legitimately legal with virtually no effort yourself, that you can make another $8,000 to $10,000 extra a year, would you be interested?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so here's what it is that I represent car dealerships in the area. And what we do is every time you refer somebody to me that is the one to buy a vehicle, if you just let me know, I will pay you $200 cash. Right. Okay, so if you send me 2 people, that's $400 cash a week just for referring people, right?
Gotcha.
Okay, and in addition to that, if you know anybody that wants to sell their car, I'll also give you $100 to $200 there, right?
Perfect.
How many people do you think you're able to send me a week?
Probably 1 or 2.
I appreciate it.
A lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Should give me some cards.
I will give it to you right after this. Got it.
So did you hear that? He basically just said that he could send me 1 or 2 people a week. The other thing is that, I don't know if you heard what I said, is this. How would you like to make under $15,000 to $20,000 extra? I didn't say, would you like to make extra $200 extra? Why? Do the math. If you give me 2 people a week that sell that buy a car for me, that's $400 a week I'm paying you. Times 52 weeks in a year, that's $20,800. Now, is that a lie? No. If you get me, but it's on them. When you took, like, it's different because of you, but like the average salesperson didn't get closed on selling cars by a $150 mini. Like, I don't know anybody that says, oh shit, I'm in, I can make $150 mini. No, you might be able to make $75, $80, $100, $125,000 in a year. I'm in, I want to sell cars. If I could make that, it's the same thing. When you're going to recruit people to be agents or agencies, tell them what the potential is. Now, again, he's probably in a better position than you to sell cars because he has way more people coming into his restaurant. And he's got more at-bats. And as a waiter, think about this. As a salesperson, you've only been in the business a year on the floor, right? A little over a year. Is it true or false that people tell you their life stories, like crazy shit? Yes or no, right? He's like, yes. So what do you think? And they're not with you that much, and people still vomit information. Can you imagine if you're a regular customer at a bar or a restaurant or a diner? You know, people get to know you for years, so they tell you all sorts of stuff. So my point being is that you want to create a network of agents that are not just giving you a referral once in a while, but on a daily, weekly basis, they're pumping you with stuff. And so if you could present a value package offer, and here's another crazy idea. Why don't you hire people? What do you mean? I mean, for free. Put an ad on Indeed, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, Facebook. I'm hiring, not we. There's no mouse in your pocket. No, we hiring. I'm hiring. What do you mean? I'm hiring, and it's a 1099 general contract agent. You want to make money? I will pay you $200, for every time you refer somebody to me that I wind up selling them a car. So you want to work part-time, you want to work from home, you want to work in your underwear, you want to work seasonal, you want an extra job. I mean, think about it. People sell Avon, they sell cosmetics, hell, they sell adult toys. True story, right? Again, they have those little Tupperware parties with, and stuff like that. They sell makeup. Why can't they turn around and just pump you with referrals? See, you got to just change the game, brother. Again, you don't need to sell cars like how they sold cars 100 years ago, okay? You need to sell cars differently. Think Netflix, think Amazon, think, Airbnb, think Uber, meaning change the model. You know what I mean? Like, who says you got to just wait for people to come through? You need, what you're doing is really good, but now put another layer in it. Like, how much more cars can you sell if you've got agents all over the place that are trying to feed you business?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
All right, good. So let's go back into this now to the interview, because I'm loving what I'm hearing from you too. Tell me what some of your beliefs are, like as far as why do you think that you are so successful, and how can we replicate that? So let's just say if I was a new salesperson and I was like, you know what, I heard, Riley, that you're really good at this stuff, and again, man, I mean, like you're younger than me, and I've got a wife and I've got several kids, man. I would like to be able to have, some skills like you do. And it's a little humbling because I'm 43 years old coming to a 23-year-old young man, but you're doing something right. And I don't want to spend 10 years trying to figure this out. What advice do you have for me, Riley, to sell cars and be good at it?
I think my biggest thing is just speed. People want speed. People want it easy. I've done a ton of home deliveries lately. People want you to come to them. They want you to be honest with them, and they want speed. Nobody wants to sit in a dealership for 4 hours anymore. So that's something that I'm really good. I get along with people really well. I get that quick rapport that right away, we're buddies. But at the same time, I'm moving the process along, constantly getting you out of here. I think is speed. I think is just people every customer I've had, nobody wants to, you might get the occasional person that, they want to sit here and talk all day, but these people, they want to get in and they want to get out of here. They want the speed. The at-home deliveries with all this COVID stuff going on right now is a big one. I think just last month I did 6 or 7 home deliveries where we did the paper at their house.
So speed, transparency, and convenience. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's role play. You ready for 2 role plays? Ready?
Yeah.
Scenario 1 is I walked into the dealership. I walked into your store and you greeted me. How do you greet me? So let's just do a virtual handshake. So like you up me.
One of these now,
Elbow. Okay. So you elbow. Okay, that's all right. Now what? What's your greeting?
Name's Riley. Welcome to Team Toyota. What can I get you information
on? I'm actually looking at potentially a Camry.
Okay, awesome. Let's go have a seat. What are you driving now, Sean?
Well, I actually have, don't judge me. I have a Honda Accord, but I was kind of thinking that, I've had 3 Honda Accords and I keep hearing that Toyota Camrys are just as good, if not better. And I just don't want another Accord. And I damn sure don't want like a Chrysler product. No disrespect to Chrysler. I want to stay with the Japanese vehicle.
Awesome. We can absolutely make that happen. And, change is always good, right? Everything's always changing. So, that's a good thing. Honda's not a bad product. I believe in Toyota. That's why I work for Toyota, right? So let's figure out how to make you get into a new Camry today.
Okay, perfect. So then now here, let's go through the qualification part of this. At your dealership, do you guys use a guest sheet, a Foursquare, a customer worksheet? What do you call it? Nothing.
None. No, it's all. Yeah, sit down and just do an interview kind of across the desk and figure out,
What type of questions do you ask the interview? Because here's the problem is that the number one reason why people don't buy cars in the United States as per NADA is they're landed on the wrong car. I believe that most people don't qualify the prospect the right way when they sit down at that point. So I'm at your desk right now. What type of questions do you ask me?
So just going off that scenario that you were just on, the Accord. I'll ask, first of all, I'll say, what do you like about the Accord? And, they'll spill me the stuff they like about it. Okay, well, you're looking to change into something a little bit different. So there's got to be a few things that you don't want or you don't like that in the new vehicle is important to you. And that's where, you shut up, you don't talk, and let these people tell you, because these are the stuff that later on you're going to use. So they're going to tell you, oh, well, it didn't have blind spot monitors or it didn't have this and the safety rate. You know what I mean? They're just going to start spilling stuff out to you that you'll use later, and that's also going to help you find the right vehicle for them.
All right, good. So this is really good stuff for our podcast listeners. So when you are qualifying them, you're looking for, it might sound basic, but I watch a lot of salespeople on the floor that don't do this, that don't ask what do they like about the vehicle and what didn't they like about the vehicle, or what would they wish that the vehicle, they could have. And I one of the tactics I use is like say, so your current vehicle from 1 to 10, how would you rate your the likability of the vehicle, everything from the performance, the drive, the convenience, the cup holders, what it is, 9, okay, or 6 or whatever it is. And I find out why, okay, exactly like you said, what did you like about this here that makes it this number? Now, what do you feel is missing, or what would you like, you didn't like, or you didn't want to have in there? And so you're trying to find what they want, what they don't want. And with that, it can help you put, them on the right vehicle. But also, what is your opinion about their current vehicle? Do you ask questions about, are they financing it or leasing the current vehicle? Is there a payoff and things like that? Because those type of questions are good strategically to identify what kind of scenario they're in. If somebody tells you that they're on a lease on like a 60-month lease or 48-month lease, it tells me something. If somebody tells me that they're financing through AmeriCredit or Drive, which they both don't exist anymore, but those are special finance banks. I mean, so there is power in asking certain questions, because it gives you a better picture of what their current situation is and potentially what to put them into. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so give me a couple other your secret tips other than what do they like, what they don't like. What other stuff during the interview process or the qualification process do you go to? What are some of your go-to questions?
Like I said, that's a big one. Then I start to find out, like you said, it's just in the moment, I guess, did you finance that vehicle? Is it paid off? And getting into that, then they start telling you. I think the biggest thing is when I first started, someone would come in and say, I saw this car on your website. I want to test drive this vehicle. And I felt like an order taker. I'd run up to the desk, grab the key, and then we'd get to the numbers, and I'm on the wrong car. So it's just taking my time as earlier, it's a little contradicting. I said speed, 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 but that first initial sit-down 5-minute interview is, it's just kind of, I don't have any specific questions that I'm going to. It's different every time, just based off what the customer.
I want to correct you respectfully. You didn't contradict yourself because you might take a little time to pace, but by you doing that, by investing that time in the beginning, it's going to save them a tremendous amount of time. So I get it, but I want to clear up for our listeners. I agree with what you said, because when you rush and you start taking keys, there's nothing worse than turning around and showing somebody the wrong car. And then can you imagine if they're not qualified for this car, it's too much money. Now they're emotionally excited. Now you've got to turn on and tell this person, sorry, that was the wrong car. Here's this nice used vehicle that you got to look at. And it's anticlimactic. So it might feel like you're not starting like out of a rocket ship, but you need to qualify thoroughly. So you agree with that. Qualifying the prospect in the very beginning, asking the right strategic questions is really critical in where to go. Okay, so the next step usually is product selection, correct?
Correct.
So after you do the interview, so let's say you've got that stuff, do you personally check in the desk, or at your level, you don't need to check in with the desk, you can just go find whatever keys are right? Tell me what's next for you.
Correct. It's, once we find the vehicle, this is the vehicle I think, offer them beverage, whatever, get them comfortable, say, hey, it's going to take me 2 or 3 minutes. I'll pull this vehicle up, come and get you, then we'll go over, and that's where the walk around starts. But yeah, I don't necessarily need to check in with the desk or anything like that. I grab the key and go.
How important is it to you to do a full features and benefits walk around presentation?
Oh, it's huge. It's used car, new car, it doesn't matter, because someone buy a used car, it's new to them. So that's
Absolutely.
Huge.
Okay, now what about the test drive? Do you go on the test drive with them?
It's as of lately, we kind of were put on a hold. We weren't allowed to. So before that, it was the time I was. If my customer is wearing a mask when they walk in the dealership, I respect, that they're still a little bit timid and stuff like that. So I will ask them, hey, would you like me to go with? If not, I don't have to. If they're not wearing a mask, I kind of feel like their guard's down. I'll hop in and absolutely go with, because I want to be there. I want to know, just feeling them out in the test drive. I'm not talking during the test drive. After my walk around and stuff like that, I explain everything to them, and then I kind of just shut up in the back, let them talk, whether it's a husband and a wife or whoever's in the car, and let them kind of talk.
Right. Okay. Now.
So it's hit or miss right now. It's a weird time. So once everything clears, 100% of the time I'm going with on the test drive.
Totally understand. So let's say you go through the test drive, or they're on the test drive, they come back. Now they're back at your desk. What is your process for presenting the numbers? Like, do you gain the commitment first and then go to the desk, or do you turn around and you come in the desk and the desk gives you the pencil to present?
So it's presumptive close, the old Joe Verdi that we started training on forever ago. Out on the lot, I'll say, sometimes, hey, pulled into the sold line and let's go, or, is this the right vehicle? And making sure that, just getting those yeses, making sure that I'm on the right vehicle before we come inside and do the numbers.
The trial closes. You're throughout the road to the sale experience, whether they're on the lot, whether you're in the test drive, you're basically, you're dropping trial close questions and trial close statements. Okay, good. And so if they're showing that they're interested in potentially purchasing the vehicle, so one of them might be like, if the numbers are acceptable to you, would you be driving this vehicle home today? Again, whatever the word track is, it is what it is. Now, if they give you an affirmation, okay, so what's the next step for you? Do you basically work the numbers out yourself first, try to gain a commitment for them first, or do you go to the desk first, get them to give you the pencil, and then you present what the desk gives you? How does your dealership work handle it?
Oh, I get the numbers from the desk. I go up and get the pencil. Yeah. So I'll sit down with them. We'll go over kind of, feel them out. I'll ask them before I go to the desk. I say, okay, so it's a 60 or 72 month option is what most customers go. Did you have anything in mind? Maybe a 48 month or something. Did you have anything in mind before you came into the dealership? And that's where sometimes I'll get, okay, yeah, well, we were going to put 10 grand down. So I'm not going to go to the desk, get numbers, and it shows me 0, 2, and 4, and then have to go back up. I hate doing that. Once I sit down, I'm not getting up till I got something. So, you know, just kind of a quick little interview as far as numbers go before I go get the numbers from the desk. That way I can customize it to how I feel best.
When do you do that? Again, like some people do that after the test drive. Some people do that before the product presentation in the initial qualification. So I'm just curious. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just different dealerships, different people do it different ways. Do you do the number interview, you call it, before or after the test drive?
It depends on the customer.
Okay.
It's kind of feeling it out more than I'd say 80% of the time it's after the test drive.
Okay,
occasionally before.
No, that's a very good answer, and it makes sense. Okay. So go through some of the challenges. So when you get the pencil, you have a strong desk at your dealership?
Yeah, I do. We have 3 desks. You know Mike Anderson. He's working the desk times. And then I have my used car manager and new car manager that work, you know, either or. So I definitely pick the manager who I think best is with the customer. I think that's something that, you know, not a lot of people think about, but that's huge for me, is knowing which manager based off of who's my customer I'm going to have to work this deal with.
I know exactly what you mean by that. And that's such a perceptive comment for a young professional like yourself. I mean, like that's so awesome that you understand that. But explain what you mean by that. So again, what I heard you say is that picking the right sales manager for that particular customer is important. What do you mean by that? I know what you mean, but tell our audience, what do you mean by that?
So it's just who's going to present the numbers well. If I'm, you know, a new car, I'm kind of, you know, always going to try to go to the new car manager, but that's not always the case. So I'll kind of try to customize it like that. Who's going to get along with the customer if worst comes to worst and I need a TO? You know, every manager's got a different personality. I can't have, you know, Mike Anderson, who's the goofiest guy in the world, coming in on a real stern guy. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's knowing your customer, who's going to gel with. If worst comes to worst, then I got to have someone to come in and help me, which, like I said, I hate doing it. I try everything in my power not to do that because I feel like you lose a little credibility with the customer, but it's the car business that happens. So it's just kind of matching the personalities who I think would, you know, get along best with my customer.
Abso-freaking-lutely. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so let's go through what are the most common objections you get. So let's just say it's me. Give me a 2020 Camry. Let's just go through this. I lease all my vehicles. So 2020 Camry, how would you hit me with the pencil? And just an average deal. I don't really care if you're gross or not gross. I just want to kind of hear it. How would you present the numbers to me?
So if they come in on our internet price, you know, I'm obviously going to respect that. And that's part of that pre-interview is, you know, how did you see this vehicle? Because right away, if I'm coming in on an internet price and, you know, I come back at full pencil, that right away, you don't want that. So, but if they're not on the internet price, I'm coming back at sticker every time. You know, that's just kind of the full pencil is, like I said, it's the full deal every time. So just depends.
How many people do you get to actually spot on full price?
Lately, a lot.
I love it. So
lately,
people think that you can't do that, but full price is fair price. In my point, you could always go down, but you can't go up. So I respect that. So listeners, you know what he said again. Full price is fair price. You start at full list. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So now let's just start on it. Like, what are the most common objections, especially if you're opening somebody up at full sticker? So what do they say? What do you feel the biggest objections are? Price or what else?
You know, prices, I think it's not necessarily, it's just that's everybody's first reaction. Oh, the price, you know what I mean? And is that the best you can do or something like that? So it's just kind of.
How do you handle that? What are your word tracks?
Yeah, it's the best I can do. And just kind of sitting there and laughing. We do Cardone, and he does that goofy laugh where he looks at him and goes, yeah, and just gives that little, like, you know, goofy laugh and looks him in the eyes and, you know, they're going to sit there and then you kind of hush and, well, you know, and they'll start giving you stuff, but it's just not right away. Oh, let me go and ask or let me do this. It's just, yeah, that's my best price. And a lot of the times I'll use, you know, well, okay, well, I saw down the street this and blah, blah, blah. You don't get me down the street. So then there's different stuff that I'll start throwing in there.
And what would you say works the best for you, like overcoming problems?
The biggest thing right now, especially because, you know, hitting them at stickers is pretty, you know, that's pretty good, is I'll do a lot of the times with good rates. There's a lot of good interest rates out there right now, special rates and stuff like that. So I'll tell a customer, hey, you know, with this kind of interest rate, I can't take a bunch of money off the price of the card. That I can't do that. You're getting a 0% or you're getting a 1.9% interest rate. You're going to save way more money than me giving you a couple $100 off the sale price of this car. And then it's kind of, if I have to, if it's the type of person where we got to sit there and pull out the pen and paper, I always got a notepad sitting right in front of me. So, if it's doing some math with the customer, pulling the calculator out and explaining, you'll save this on the back end or you'll do this. It's just, like I said, it's the biggest thing is staying in the pocket. And the more you get up, the more the customer gets out. So just figuring out a way to, make it work. Maybe it's a budget thing. Maybe they need to go 72 months instead of 60. It's not really the.
And you said down payment. How important to you is down payment?
Huge.
Absolutely.
Huge.
The profitability of the deal is down payment, in my opinion. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's,
okay.
That helps you in every way possible.
Okay. So what advice do you have for people on how to handle price? Because I think there's some salespeople that kill themselves because they're scared about price. And because they're scared about price, that transfers to the up. You know what I mean? Like, again, do you agree with that? Like that sometimes if you're not confident about price or holding your ground with price, if you don't believe that full price is fair price, you're never going to get full price. So give us your philosophy on price.
I think I always tell people, price is you're part of the price, so that's a big thing for me is you're part of the price. I pick customers' cars up for service. I never have my car here. I always have a customer's car. So I never have my own car. If a customer's in, so I explain that to customers. Hey, you're getting this stuff. I'm pretty open about the price. If it comes up on the lot, if it comes up anywhere before the pencil, I'll explain, hey, we market price our used vehicles. The price you see is the price it is. We're at 100%, if not below market value. That's why you came from where on the vehicle. Or the new cars, that's where I think building value in the car and building value in yourself is where you can kind of get those higher gross on new cars, especially.
Okay. Now,
and it's not getting discouraged right away when it happens. Right away it's one of those just agree or we're doing these money closes in the Cardone stuff right now, and I know the price is too high. Do it anyway. And just laugh. Yeah, I know the price is too high. Do it anyway. This ain't the first time you've overpaid for something, and it won't be the last. I just bought furniture for my house, and I overpaid. Just kind of getting into it, making it funny, and just rolling with it.
Do those type of closes work for you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You might have to use 4 in a row. It might not be, the first one. Do it anyway. Lean on the pen.
Right.
They're going to be like, oh. But, you roll 4 or 5 into it, and every time he's saying something, you're using one of those. Eventually it's going to work. It's just staying in the pocket is what, the phrase is just staying there and not getting up. And eventually, they're there for a reason. People are doing their homework. It's not like they're just coming in. The statistics say, so they want the car. You just gotta make them feel comfortable doing it.
All right. So we've taken a lot of time and you need to sell a lot more cars. So I'm going to start winding this down. But again, what do you feel are some of the biggest problems that salespeople have that it's stopped them from being successful?
It's a good one. I think it would go back to work ethic. Come to work, man. It's, there's a lot of opportunities, and if you're not getting a bunch of walk-in traffic, like I said, there's so much different stuff that you can be doing that, if you're working 8 hours, if you're working 12 hours, whatever you put into the day, work the whole thing, and just come to work, work all avenues. I think the biggest one for me is showing up early. Being the first person here, like I said, that gets me 3 or 4 deals a month just by being the first person here every day. So it's the little things.
Do you know Cody Carter?
I do not.
Bro, my dude, what are you doing? This guy's the number 2 Toyota salesperson in the world. He's
okay. Out an interview on him.
Yeah. So again, do you know that he's got his own website? And so check this out. It's his last name backwards. It's Retrack Auto. See this? So now,
I saw your. Yeah. This guy's awesome.
This guy is ridiculous. But have you seen this website that he did? Because this is not a build a brand website. And have you gone in and you've seen how they do this for the cars? Like, for example, for you, like some of these numbers have got to be like nuts, but these are legit. Let's go into like a Tundra or something like stupid. Corollas, RAV4s, but even a Tacoma, right? So that's sold out. Let me just go through sold out Tacoma right here. That's $310 a month. On a 2020 Tacoma SR, what would that normally lease for?
Mid-4s.
Exactly. So then how the hell are you getting it at 309.99? So do you know that he builds this out himself manually every single month? So this guy sold 133 cars last August, there in 1 month. He averages 80, 90 units a month. Have you ever talked to him?
I have not. No, I've listened to the podcast you had with him, and that was about it. I got to get a hold of him.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. Riley, I'll give you my cell phone number. And I know I'm on a podcast, but I give it to everybody. It's cool. My cell phone number, write it down, is 267-319-6776. Again, it's 267-319-6776. Text me your contact information. And what I'm going to do is I'll set up a connection for you and Cody. Cody's one of our moderators in the group. And again, because of how well that you're doing and how young you are, what I want you to do now is surround yourself with like Leviathan champions, outside your store. You know what I mean? So you could learn from them, and again, like someone like Cody is perfect because it's your franchise and he's in California. So you guys are not competing, but the guy is a beast, man, and I think that you can really take some of the things that he's doing and implement them in Indiana. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, listen, my pleasure. It's exciting because my daughter, she didn't crack 20, she cracked 18. So back to back 18 and 18 for May and June at the Buick GMC dealership. And so I purposely want her to make it as difficult as possible because she's not going to work on the front lines for the rest of her life. There's going to be a point in a couple of years where she's going to come to Dealer Synergy, and I need her to, have experienced it difficult because I can't have her, like skating into this as a consultant. But I would love for my daughter and my nephew. I don't know if you saw, my nephew just started yesterday in car sales, actually Monday on car sales at the same dealership with my daughter. And so I love this industry. And I think that you personify the potential. I mean, for you to be, only just 23 years old and are going to make $125,000 a year. Do you understand that there's brain surgeons, there's astronauts, there's engineers, there's lawyers, there's these what we consider good professions or professional people that you make just as much money as or more. And so, but a lot of people don't realize that. They basically think that car sales is like it was in the 80s and things like that. So how proud are you of being an automotive professional?
It's awesome. I knew I was coming into it, and it's even better being in the business. It's awesome. It's a humbling business.
Absolutely. But would you say it's an accurate statement, true or false, that what you put into it is what you get out of it?
1,000,000% true.
And you also believe that there's untapped potential. Like, do you think that you've tapped out already, or you have a long way you could go?
I'm hitting 50 this month. That's just short term. But yeah, the goal is not just a salesperson forever. So
that's your goal for this month is 50?
My store goal is 35, but I'm trying to break 50. So I'm on track. Right? I'm on 50. Okay.
Then here I'm going to share something with you. And I don't know if you remember this, but this is for you, brother. This is not for me and my podcast. Like they can listen to this too. The tens of thousands of people, right? But check this out. You see my Money My Map before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then can you name the 13 ways that you could sell a car?
Oh, man. Putting me on the spot. Yes. No.
All right, good. So then we're going to turn around and do it this way, okay? So I just want to show you this. You have the 8 main ways and the subcategories. So you got walk-ins, BBAC, internet, phone, prior customers / orphan owners, service conversions, referrals, and the lost art of prospecting, okay? So let's go through them. And there's subcategories like data money, equity money, but let's just stick to the 8 main ways, and there's 5 additional subways. So you have walk-in spots. You've got BBACs. Here's the thing. Most people don't rarely maximize the BBACs. If you have, let's say you take 20 fresh ups that are non-appointment, non-prior in a month. And if you have a 25% closing ratio, that's 5 spots that you're doing. That means there's 15 people. Some of those people you might be able to get back in, but that's just for this month. What about the walk-ins from last month or the month before that you didn't close? So there's a carryover. So BBACs, working your BBACs is really a strong possibility, but let's go into service. especially if you're coming in early, a service customer is 7 times as likely to purchase a vehicle from where they're servicing their car from. So that's really, really a strong opportunity. But then you don't only have just the service people that are your customers, service that are orphan owners, okay? But then there's people in service that have never purchased a vehicle from your Toyota dealership. They're called unsold service customers. So you have a lot of people just by showing up to the dealership. And I don't know if this is a ghetto old school thing, but do you know that you could just go to Google and type in custom donut boxes? Okay, this is like so ghetto, but it works. So look at this, man. You can go online and you can order custom donut boxes. If this is my daughter, we could have right here, T got your keys, and a picture of Tiana Mick right there. And you just walk into the service department with some Krispy Kreme, switch the boxes, and just leave them there. It's branding, or you could have a conversation. Hey, I just wanted to do this. This is so old school, but just by doing that without data mining, equity mining, you can get some people. But then if you have Vin Solutions, don't you, if I remember? Okay, so I don't know if you have Auto Loop, Auto Alert, or Automotive Mastermind, or some type of data mining, equity mining, but you can get a list, I'm almost positive, of who's got equity in a vehicle, who has got a lease that they're already over mileage on. And so if those people in service, so there's a difference of just having a generic non-strategy conversation. Enough people that you up in service, you'll convert. But some people that you have like some of their background, and it says like, listen, Riley, I know that you still have 4 months on your lease and you're already over miles. I have a way that I pull you out of that Toyota now, boom, or something to that effect. So service is a really strong thing, but the other one is orphan owners. I would assume that your dealership has a lot of orphans. People think that orphan owners suck, but if you think about it, it is the highest closing ratio. It's a 65% closing ratio. If somebody purchased a vehicle from your dealership, it doesn't matter the salesperson. It's the dealership that they physically were able to go to your dealership, and especially if they bought from your dealership before and they serviced there, it will increase the probability. So orphan owners. The other things would be, developing those referral agents, the referral networks that I was telling you about. And then the other way is marketing and advertising. I love the billboard idea, but in my opinion, what you're missing is that you don't have your own website. And so what do you do? Push people to your Facebook page? Your Facebook isn't designed to be, what your website's supposed to do. So if you have a website, whatever website, I don't care if it's Build a Brand or not. I don't get a commission on Build a Brand. You know what I mean? I love them, but if you have a website, I recommend Build a Brand, but any website. Now, if you've got a billboard, now if you've got social media, now if you've got paid Facebook ads or Instagram ads, now you're driving all that energy to your website. And remember, you could create pretty cool things, bro. You could create some stuff that's going to help you get just names. What do I mean by that? If you create like the top 5 things to save you, $1,000 when you're trying to sell your car, buy your car, the top 5 things that you can do to increase your car's worth, just things like that. Why? If you have that on your website, those are just ways for people to leave their email address. And what you want to do, my brother, is start to create a database. Do you have a database?
No. Like through Vince, no. So no.
Here's one thing that you can do, and this is so new school, is if you export, you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
If I were you, I would export all my contacts from my iPhone into a CSV file, to a spreadsheet. I would also go to my email, whether you have Gmail or you have, some other server or Outlook. You want to export all your contacts in your cell phone and from all your email accounts that you've ever had to one database. Once you have them in that database, try to organize that database from family, friends, coworkers, prospects, clients. And once you segment that database, update that database, now you can upload that database to your Facebook and Instagram ad manager and personally target those people, not from Facebook's metrics and geo-targeting capabilities, but as prior customers. And so it'll be cheaper and more strategic. The other thing is that you could use like Constant Contact or MailChimp, and you could put out a newsletter every single month. And what would you cover in your newsletter? Tips, advice, winterization, summarization, success tips, hacks, recalls, different things like that. Maybe even do a contest. And so what you want to do is, if you think about this, Toyota manufactures a great brand, right? And look at what they do for marketing. They do retargeting. They do data mining. They do equity mining. They have a website. They do digital marketing. They do regular marketing. True or false?
True.
Your dealership, Team Toyota, does a website. They do this. They do that on the dealership level. You need to think of yourself as tier 3. If you start to think of yourself as a franchise of Team Toyota, you have your own website, your own marketing, brother, it's going to be insane because you're doing so many things better than the vast majority of the country. The fact that you're spending up to $1,000 as a salesperson is delicious to me. It's awesome, but it's a little bit patchwork. You know what I'm saying? You want to kind of like bring in all those resources and kind of unify those resources to form like the Avengers or the Justice League of your efforts, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, this wasn't just a straight interview. This was like this because the podcast, I want for season 3 to have synergy. Like you're doing so many things amazing. I believe if you implement some of the things that I've just shared with you, it will help you get to that 50 and 60 car mark.
Yeah.
All right. So anything you want to leave everybody with right now?
No, what our boss man says, sell cars, make money, have fun.
Sell cars, make money, have fun. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to do a poster on that. And if I make any money, I'll give you a royalty check because it's like eat, pray, love, right? You know, it's sell cars, make money, have fun. I mean, like to me, Hakuna Matata. That's what you just said to me. As a car guy, car girl, that's what it's about, man. Sell cars, make money, and have fun. You know, live your life. You know what I mean? You only have 86,400 seconds in a day. Once they're gone, they're gone. So maximize every minute. And I appreciate the hour plus that you've spent with me today. Thank you for this. And I think that this is going to be great for the podcast season 3. I appreciate you.
Right on, Sean.
Take care, brother.
If you like this podcast, check out the world's largest private mastermind automotive group of professionals on Facebook, the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. Search for us in the group section. Over 17,000 strong and growing every day. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. You know, let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman Group on Facebook. We'll see you there.